There was a man. For 40 years he taught children. His name was respected. People called him teacher. He had knowledge. He had authority. He had pride. He believed he knew everything he needed to know. He thought learning had an end. He did not know he was very wrong. The teacher lived alone. His wife had passed. His children lived far away. His grandchildren he knew only from photographs and brief visits. One day, his grandson came to stay with him. The boy was excited. He carried something in his hands, a small device, a phone. "Grandpa," the boy said, "I want to show you something amazing." The teacher looked at it. A phone? He had a phone, a big one, on the wall. What else did he need? "No," he said, waving his hand. "I am too old for such things. I do not understand modern technology. I lived my whole life without it. I do not need it now." The grandson tried again. "But Grandpa, we could call Grandma, my other grandmother, and see her face. She's in America." The teacher shook his head. "Unnecessary," he said. "If she wants to speak, she can write a letter. That is how people have always done it. That is good enough for me." The boy was sad, but he did not argue. Days passed, months passed. The grandson left. The teacher returned to his routine. He read his old books. He sat in his chair. He taught from his old notes. But he felt something changing. The world moved faster around him. His colleagues talked about things he did not understand. His students asked questions about the world he did not know. Sometimes, when young people visited, he noticed they looked at their phones often. The teacher wondered, what are they seeing? What am I missing? He felt left out. He felt invisible. One evening, he fell. He reached for a book on a high shelf. He fell hard. His arm hurt. He could not move. He lay on the floor for 2 hours before a neighbor found him. At the hospital, the doctor said, "You need help. You live alone. This is dangerous." The teacher felt ashamed and alone, more alone than ever. When he returned home, he sat in his chair. He stared at nothing. There was a knock at the door. His grandson appeared. "Grandpa," the boy said, sitting next to him, "I heard you fell. I came back." The teacher said nothing. The grandson took his hand. "Grandpa, you are the smartest person I know. You taught me to think. You taught me to read. You taught me to ask questions." He paused. "But you know what you did not teach me? You did not teach me that learning never stops. You did not teach me that wisdom means staying curious." The teacher looked at his grandson. "You told me these things with your words, but you showed me something different with your life. You showed me that some people stop learning when they get old. I do not want to be that person, Grandpa." The grandson squeezed his hand. "And I do not want you to be either." The teacher felt tears in his eyes. The grandson pulled out the phone again. "Please, Grandpa, let me teach you. Not because you're old, but because you're brave enough to learn." This time, the teacher said yes. The son sat close beside him. Slowly, carefully, he showed him. "This button turns it on. This is the screen. You touch here, like this." His young hand guided his grandfather's weathered hand across the screen. The teacher's fingers were shaky. His eyes were tired, but he watched carefully. He felt the difference between their hands, his rough, mapped with wrinkles, his grandson's smooth, strong, patient. "Now we will call Grandma." They typed her number together. The phone rang, and then a face appeared on the screen. His daughter in America, a country far away. He had not seen her face in 3 years. She was there, right there, in front of him. "Dad, can you see me?" He could not speak. Tears ran down his face. His daughter cried too. "Hi, Dad. I miss you so much." For 2 hours they talked. He showed her his home. She showed him her new garden. His grandson translated the modern words he did not understand, whispering gently, never making him feel foolish. And the teacher listened, really listened. That night, he could not sleep, not from fear, from wonder. From that day, everything changed. The teacher and his grandson spent hours together, patient hours, quiet hours. The boy taught him many things. The teacher learned slowly. Sometimes he forgot which button to press. Sometimes his fingers slipped on the screen and he wanted to give up. Sometimes he became frustrated with himself, but he kept learning. He learned to write a message. He learned to see photographs. He learned to hear his daughter's voice whenever he wanted. The isolation broke. His world became bigger, not smaller. One day, the grandson asked, "Grandpa, do you regret learning?" The teacher smiled. "I regret," he said, "that I waited so long. I was so proud of what I knew that I could not see how much I did not know." He took his grandson's hand. "You taught me something I never taught my students. Knowledge is not a mountain you climb once and own forever. Knowledge is a river. It keeps flowing. It keeps growing. And if you don't flow with it, you become stuck. You become alone." He looked at the phone in his hand. "This little device," he said, "it's not about the technology. It's about staying connected. It's about staying alive. And it taught me something simple. I am not too old to learn. I am only too proud." Years passed. The teacher lived longer because he was not isolated. He became known in his community, not as the man who knew everything, but as the elderly man who was still learning, from his grandson, from his students, from the world. And every morning, he would video call his daughter in America and say, "Good morning, teach me something new today." His pride became curiosity. His fear became courage. And that changed everything.